Well, good evening, everyone. Anyway, thank you so much for your votes of confidence with the D flute. It is coming along. I am going to master it no matter what. Small hands or no small hands. Anyway, I was going to share another of the crystals with you that I got, that I brought back. This is one of the, isn't this nice? Oh, such a nice crystal. One of the smoky quartz. So I was just going to share that in my collection. I have got, let's see, I brought back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I think 11 or 12 crystals, big ones for the most part. I do have a few small ones, but yes. Yes. But anyway, this is the smoky quartz, and it's just, you know, it's a lovely piece. They do add to the energy of your place. So, again, put my crystal down. Today, I went to get another flute. This time I got the G, the red-tailed hawk, since my totem bird, my totem animal, is a red-tailed hawk. So how can I be without the red-tailed hawk flute? Can't do it. Had to have it. So I went today, and I met with the guy, and he brought the flutes, and he goes, "Can you reach those notes?" Because he looks at my hands and he's going, "Are you sure you can reach the notes of the flute?" I said, "I think so. You know, I'm managing to do the deep D," and he was just shocked. He couldn't believe that I'm actually working on doing the D, because they say that's, you know, this one is for medium to large hands, and I've got small hands. And that one is for large hands. Okay. But again, never say never. Okay. So here's the sound of the G flute. I'll show you there. Again, very nice in the cedar. I happen to like the cedar. I do have one that's not in cedar, as you saw the other day, the C flute, which is in a walnut, which is a little louder, but I like the warmth of the cedars. course, the last note, I screw it up. Anyway, it is coming along. So this is the red tail G flute. For those that have asked, you can get the flutes from highspirits.com. Okay, they have so many flutes on their website. They are located in Patagonia, Arizona. So anyway, they have all kind of flutes. They have these, which are the traditional, or they do have some limited editions where they only make 100 of each of those flutes. If you want something a little more unique, they do have them plain, or they have them like my F sharp with the turquoise. I probably would have gotten the turquoise today, but he didn't have it, so I decided to get this one anyway. So again, as you can see, I've got very, very small fingers, kids' hands. So if I had to do another one, there's no way I could reach it. So yeah, if I had to do the other hole and do this as a 6-hole flute, it would take a little more managing. But the 5-hole works for me. If I can get these two, then I can stretch here. That's not a problem. Anyway, the joy of the flute. But I am just loving the sounds of these, so I am working on it day by day. Be interesting to know if any of you get flutes and how it's coming along. If you happen to sing, I think the fact that I sing makes a huge difference in being able to pick it up a little more rapidly, because a lot of it has to do with breath control. You're either doing the tonguing, doing to make your sharp notes, or you're doing vibrato with the wind. The wind, vibrato, like if you're singing and you do a vibrato voice, so you can do it either slow or faster. And so a lot of it has to do with your breath control when you're playing, to get so much of the variation. That, and then the fingering, if you are rolling it off of here, you're getting a kind of a sliding note. Anyway, that was horrible. But you get the idea. You get the sliding note. And then when you want to do the trills, you just move your finger quickly. And to do your little last note, you do a kind of a and that gives you that little I was for the longest time trying to figure out, how did they do that? How did they get that little thing at the end? Then I finally figured it out. So anyway, it's just spending all day with it, learning how to do the breath. With these flutes, you do not want to, now it's really odd. I have one little flute in there that I got that takes, it's a small flute, and it takes so much breath to blow it to get the correct vibration out of it. I mean, you really, really have to have a lot of breath to do that one. Whereas these, and the big one, which you would think would take a lot of breath, actually you have to really hold back, especially the very low note, to get that note to play. Otherwise, you will get squeak like that. If you do too much breath, you get squeak. Yeah, so it's got to be very metered breath. So anyway, get each flute, you'll find out it takes a little bit different breath, sometimes from the low note to the high note, to get it to sound even. Again, it's another thing you just have to work with your flute to find out how much breath you need, because each one of them is different. Like my little bitty one takes, I've got the little pocket one, which takes, actually, I think it uses more breath than these, because it's a higher pitch. You have to have that sustained pressure behind it. In the big bass, you're doing a much slower song, so it's taking a slower breath, slower vibrato when you're doing the D as to when you're doing these. And then when you're doing the high pitch ones, usually you're doing, rather than so much more sustained, you're doing a lot of the tongue, they call tonguing, because it's one like a bird sound, kind of like a little, so you're doing more of that, what's called tonguing, like your breath, like a bird, like you're gonna do a bird call. Okay. I don't know why I wound up giving a flute lesson on this. Maybe somebody's going to get some flutes, and if I can help in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, like I'm the big teacher. I've been doing this a week, okay? This is what I found in this last week with working with it, what it takes. Anyway, so those that have asked about flutes, let me know if you get one and how it's going along. Again, if you're getting squeaking, oh, and the other thing you have to know too, when you have the flute, if this moves, if your little fetish up here moves and you're getting squeaking, then it needs to be adjusted. And when you adjust these, you need to be tied really tight, and it needs to go just right to the edge of the hole there. And you may have to move it a little back, a little forward to get it to where it plays just right. Or if you don't want to be spitting, do not spit in your flute, okay? If you get moisture, what happens, you'll find out it's not playing. You're just getting nothing is coming out. Well, that means you've got moisture under your little fetish, and you need to put your finger kind of over the hole a little bit so you're not blowing a loud noise, and you want to blow it hard because you want to blow out the moisture, and then, you know, make sure all the moisture is out of it. and then it will play again. And especially when you're just starting, you'll have more moisture tendency to come out. Okay, so you may be having to clear your flute a little more than what you do once you get used to it. Yeah, so. And again, on the these ones from High Spirits, they do have a 6th hole, which is wrapped. If you want to play like a regular flute instead of the pentonic scale, then you would take this off and you would have a regular 6-hole flute. So. So anyway, the G flute is a nice, it's a nice medium type of sound flute. It's kind of got a little sweeter sound than does the F sharp. All of them are in minors. This is of course, a G minor, and the other's an F sharp minor. The F sharp minor is a little lower tone than this. This one is a little sweeter. I call it a little sweeter, a little higher tone than is the F sharp. Okay, so anyway, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I hope you're enjoying the channel. And if you get a flute, let me know how it's going for you. Which one did you get? And how is it working? You know, again, when you get it, start out with the minimal breath, and make sure you make your mouth, you don't want to do it open. You want to keep a small circle so you can keep the pressure, so you can watch the pressure. You want to do like this, not open mouth. You don't want to we're not trying to eat our flute. So the smaller you can make it, the better pressure you can give it to work on your flute. Okay, so I think that covered just about everything I can think of. If you have any other questions, if I know the answer, I'm happy to give it. If not, I'll say, I don't know. maybe watch some of the things, you know. They have one lady that's doing flute, Native American. I think it's Mary Young. Is it Youngblood? Something like that. She's really good, you know, and again, she says that mostly it was not for women to be doing the flute, but she's throwing tradition out the door, and I'm doing the flute. Yay for her. You know, there's no reason women can't be doing flute as well. So if you get a chance, listen to her. She's really, really good on the flute. I only aspire one day to be able to play like that, but we'll see. Anyway, see you in the morning. Aho, have a great evening.